What to do about your bloody phone. Hey legends, James Russell here from Tradie VA, and every week in the Time Rich Tradie, we find out what it takes to build a trade empire, get you off those tools and out of the day-to-day, and not spend 80 hours a week doing it. If you like what you hear, subscribe, get more juice. When you started your trade, you may have come from being an apprentice, you probably just had your mobile, that was it, and that was fine when it was just you. Now, 1 year, 10 years, wherever you are down the track, that may not be working quite as well for you, and no one's really come to you and said, hey, what else is there? In today's episode, I'm going to be going through 3 easy strategies to at least halve your time on your phone and get better connected to your clients. But before we can go through those strategies, we've got to talk about boundaries, right? You are no use to anyone, whether you're on the phone, your family, or your clients, if you can't be present and useful when you're actually on it. If you're up a ladder, no one wins when you take that call. So look, you need to put some of these boundaries in place first before we can start changing your infrastructure, because you're still going to fall back into the old habits. The first things you want to do are designate phone-free time. Decide on specific times of the day when you're not going to use your phone. Create phone-free zones. Put your phone away. Use Do Not Disturb. Set boundaries and make sure you communicate these to your clients, your team, and your family. That's the first way of structure. Once you've done that, we can start to get you more connected and make it more effective. But you've got to set those boundaries, because I guarantee it doesn't matter what you do, you'll still fall back into old habits. All right, now we've got that out of the way. I know what you're here for. There's juicy strategies, tactics, the things you can actually do and get shit done so you can start letting go. By the way, this is about starting to let go of your phone, even if you're not quite there yet. Even if this is only your first year, you're like, oh yeah, but I'm the only one. Of course I've got to answer my phone. You've got to start somewhere. It's better to start doing it now than wait 3 or 4 years when this stuff's really hard to reverse engineer. The first strategy is that your mobile number, if you've had it for a long time, you can port that number into a virtual phone system. You want to separate personal from business and make sure that the business side of things can scale. When you do get help, you can share. Porting it into a virtual mobile means it's like an app on your phone that you can have your same phone number, you can make calls, it's exactly the same, but once it's in there, you've got control. You can share it. Someone else with the same app can log in, you can choose which ones you answer, etc. So down the track, you've got that freedom. Diverting your phone is not the solution because it gives you no control. You can't do recordings, you don't know what's happening, what they're doing, you've got no ability to answer it. So the first thing is to port it into a virtual phone number and then get a private number, another one, and just tell your wife. Porting that over is pretty simple. I'm going to list them down in the comments section. There's a few companies we use at the moment. They do change all the time, but it needs to have a mobile number. No one has landlines anymore, and you want to be able to use the SMS service. AirCall, Dialpad, Benko phone. Some of them have multimedia messaging, like picture messages. Some of them just have SMS. You've got to choose what's right for you. Do a bit of a comparison. There are different price points, different features, different functions, but they're all pretty easy. And essentially, you want to be moving that phone number over to there so that, again, you've got choice. All right, so now you've done that. That's the first step. You can't really do these other 2 without that. The second step is to set up an IVR. What is an IVR? It stands for interactive voice response, but essentially it's that press 1 for this, press 2 for that. We want to get the client to self-select. We're not Telstra. We don't want to make this some overcomplicated nonsense. But we do want to ensure that you've got some choice over what you answer. So it's in one of these virtual numbers. So you can build your own easily or ask them to make some options. I'd suggest separating it at least into sales. Are you a new client and you don't yet have a quote with us? Press 1. Operations, which is 2. If you're a current client and want an update on a job, press 2. If you're a previous client, press 3. That could be complaints, accounting, etc. For anything else, press 4, which would be suppliers, team, whatever. Once you've got that, you can decide what happens with those different things. So if you see a sales call, you'll stop what you're doing and answer it, make sure they get put in the system. But if they're a current client and you're up a ladder, you may just put it in the voicemail, leave the details, and you'll call you back. You can set these things to send text messages. There are quite a few automations you can do. Essentially, you're not taking that phone call at that point because you'll know what type of call it is. 3, again, that's someone you could probably call at the end of the day. Same with 4, because it could be a supplier. So essentially, you've taken out 3 out of the 4 different types of calls and left. And this is even if you're by yourself. Like I said, these strategies, you don't need to wait until you've got a VA or got help. And you've done your first strategy, you've moved it to a virtual phone system. You've done your second, you've set up an IVR so you can find out that urgency. You can use that IVR for after hours as well to go, hey, if this is an emergency and you're willing to pay a $250 call out fee, press 1. And that gets through to you. If not, leave a message and we'll give you a call tomorrow. That way you're not taking it and having to sell that $250 call out fee. That's already been done for you. Now, obviously, if you want some advice, just reach out. My contact details are on the podcast or YouTube. Reach out and I can give you a hand on this. So once you've got those first two, you know what my third answer is going to be. Let it go. Now you can delegate. You couldn't do it before with your mobile, because if you started diverting that to someone else, your reputation would go through the toilet because you have no control, no quality assurance. But now you've got those first two, you can delegate bits at a time. You can get a VA. They can start to take those accounts inquiries, those current job updates. You can have recordings of their calls. You can delegate, review, adjust, and do it carefully and safely. You can even have it ring both of you at the same time and just tell them, wait 10 seconds, see if I pick it up first. It's as easy as that. Port your number into a virtual phone system, make it a business number, make it shareable. Get yourself a personal number and don't tell anybody. Set up an IVR so that you only take the calls you need to and you can stay connected with your clients. Delegate, review, adjust, delegate some more until you can let go. Your business will give more value to your clients than it used to. I hope this has been helpful. I love claiming back that time, and the phone is a great tool to do so. If you like what you heard, subscribe, tell others about it, and I hope to see you at the next one. Have a great day.